everybody. Welcome in. It is time now for, first of all, it's a Wednesday. It's time now for Supernatural News and Parashare right here on the program we call Darkness Radio, the very best in paranormal talk radio and podcasting. I'm your host, Tim Dennis. Along with me is our co-hostess today. We call her the marvelous maven of the metaphysical in Michigan.
Nice.
You like that one, Mel?
Yeah.
All right.
Good.
We also call her the paranormal princess, if you will. Here she is, Mallie Fox. Mallie, how you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
Pretty good. I didn't have an entry this week, so I just figured I'd.
That's okay.
You
did a good job.
Thanks.
I like that one.
I tried.
You're welcome.
Big show today. Lots of stuff going on today. Boy, oh boy. The fact that NASA flew through the sun's atmosphere this week. Evidently, they needed their suntan this summer, so they decided to get it the hard way. It's a little rough to do. Also, the death date of the universe. We'll talk about that this week. It's always bad to talk about your mortality, Mel, but we'll talk about that this week. And we've got some interesting AI news. You know, one of the things that I will get out of the way that we won't talk about today, but I'll get it out of the way today. You know, Grok 4, the latest version of Grok from Elon Musk. I'll call him Eli for short. You know, it had its little Hitler rant a couple weeks ago. We never did talk about that.
No,
You didn't hear about that?
I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, Grok 4 went on a little Nazi rant.
Oh, that's not good.
No, I left it out, but I know people got a little chuckle out of it. Especially since, you know, there was little whispers about Elon himself. But yeah, it turns out that people put little fascist rants into Grok 4 to watch it spin out of control. And it did. Funny, AI is what you put into it. And if you put, you know, neo-Nazi fascist rants into it, it will spit it back out, which is kind of the, it's kind of the whole thing about AI. So it is what you put into it. We'll find out more about AI and it is what you put into it when we do our AI news today. An Iranian official claims that Israel used the occult and supernatural spirits during their 12-day war.
Oh.
Yeah. That's kind of an interesting story we'll talk about today. Also, today, Peter Jackson, the filmmaker, is helping to resurrect a species of giant extinct bird. And it isn't supernatural. It isn't AI or special effects. He's really bringing back a giant extinct bird. Did that make sense?
I don't think that's ever a good thing.
No. I think people should leave extinct birds where they are.
Yeah.
Yeah. And in our palate cleanser today, we'll be talking about a little bit of the nonsensical.
Okay.
Yeah, just to kind of tease you there. But first, we'll jump to the interstellar news and talk about a new mission to Venus, which aims to hunt down alien life in the planet's clouds. Seems nonsensical, doesn't it? But it's true. Researchers from the UK are hoping to prove whether or not there is alien life high up in the clouds of Venus. With surface temperatures exceeding 450 degrees Celsius and crushing atmospheric pressures that are more than 100 times those found on our own planet, the conditions of Venus are undeniably hellish. So why would there be anything living in there? Well, with the likelihood of finding signs of life on its surface remaining low, scientists have long speculated that primitive life forms could potentially eke out an existence high up in the clouds. This is backed up by the detection of phosphine and ammonia on Venus within the last 5 years. Our latest data has found more evidence of ammonia on Venus with the potential for it to exist in the habitable parts of the planet's clouds, said University of Cardiff astronomer Jane Greaves. There's no known chemical processes for the production of either ammonia or ammonia or phosphine. So the only way to know for sure what is responsible for them is to go there. That doesn't sound like a good mission, does it? How would you like to draw
No.
the short straw there?
That would suck.
We're going to
For
Venus.
a recount.
Yeah, right? Recount.
Yeah.
Now, in a renewed bid to determine once and for all if there's really life on Venus, Greaves and her colleagues have proposed sending a spacecraft to the planet to search for phosphine, ammonia, and other hydrogen-rich gases indicative of microbial life. The mission, known as the Venus Explorer for Reduced Vapors in the Environment, or VERV, that's clever, will take the form of a CubeSat that will hitch a ride with ESA's upcoming Envision mission in 2031. Once the spacecraft arrives, VERV will detach and begin its own detailed atmospheric survey. If it actually finds something, it would be the first concrete evidence of extraterrestrial life ever found. I think needle in a haystack. I don't know about you.
I think so too. And I think of all the planets, why Venus?
Yeah. Yeah, that's I think you got better luck trying to find a dog turd in the desert than trying to find
Yeah.
trying to find anything in Venus's atmosphere, but good luck to you. Hey.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's my quote of the week. You got better luck trying to find a dog turd in the desert,
Yeah.
trying to find an alien in Venus's atmosphere. But hey, if you got extra money, why not?
Go for it.
Go for it. There's a new Storm Area 51 documentary that's coming to Netflix this month. I know you guys remember the old Storm Area 51 movement, where a bunch of knotheads got together and thought, hey, you know what? If we all run at Area 51 at the same time, they can't shoot us all. I don't know what that whole thing was about, but you remember that deal?
Kind of reminds me of Squid Games.
Right? Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, a bunch of people that lived in their parents' basement thought it would be fun. Mm-hmm. Trainwreck, Storm Area 51 will explore. That's a good name, by the way. Will explore the events that unfolded after millions signed up to storm the base. Funny, millions didn't show up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Storm Area 51, otherwise known as Storm Area 51, They Can't Stop All of Us, was an event that took place. It's true. That was the name of the event, which makes me laugh. Was an event that took place on September 20th of 2019. Oh, the days before COVID. The whole
I thought the same thing. I was like, oh, that was right before COVID.
Yeah. The whole thing was the brainchild of California student Maddie Roberts, who probably smoked way too much dope, who came up with the idea of organizing a collective effort to storm the secretive facility after listening to a podcast interview with Bob Lazar. A man who claimed to have worked with reverse engineered UFO technology at the base. Did he think Bob was still in there? Is that why he wanted to storm Area 51?
I don't know, but I'm curious where this college kid is now.
Probably hiding in shame. Was he like, dude, we got to go rescue Bob? I mean, come on. Roberts posted a somewhat tongue-in-cheek event listing on Facebook and didn't really expect it to gain much interest. But when the post inexplicably went viral a few days later, he ended up with several million people registering their interest. Whoops.
Yeah.
He said, I posted it like June 27th and it was kind of a joke, he said at the time. And then it waited for like 3 days, like 40 people, and then it just completely took off out of nowhere. It's pretty wild. You know, here's the thing, though. Everybody on the internet who signs up for this stuff is chicken shit. Let's face it. Right? I mean, they're like, yeah, dude, we're going to storm Area 51. And then they're going to stay home, you know, and they're going to eat nachos and they're going to get cheese on their belly. No one's coming out to Area 51 and is going to put their life in their hands. It's not happening.
Mm-hmm.
Let's face it. In the end, Roberts himself never actually went to Area 51 on September 20th, again, because he's a chicken shit and he's eating nachos in his basement. Instead, he opted to attend an alien-themed party in Las Vegas.
Oh, goodness.
Right? But at least 150 people did reach the 2 perimeter gates. So there were 150 suckers that showed up at the gates, Mal.
I'm impressed.
Yeah, I am too. See, there's 150 people that are either stupid or have balls, one or the other. Ultimately, though, none of them were able to penetrate any deeper into the restricted zone. I want to know how many got shot. That's what I want to know. How many learned the lesson? Trainwreck Storm Area 51 will debut on Netflix July 29th. There's a trailer for this thing, and I'm going to post this in the description of the program so you can watch it. Because I want to watch this so bad. If anything, I just want to see who tripped on a landmine. That's what I want to see. I want to see if anyone lost a leg. How dumb can you be? Have you seen the signs along the gate?
I mean, I've seen pictures and videos of it. Personally, I haven't, but...
Okay. Driving up to the Goldfield Hotel, you see the signs all along the gate that tell you do take your life in your hands if you cross, right? I mean, even if you go up to the gate, you start to see, if you stand there long enough, you start to see someone coming out of the hills. You just don't do it.
Right. I mean, it's kind of a given.
Yeah. Why would you take the chance?
Right.
Why would you even, I mean, if you really, if you really don't value your life that much or you're, I don't even joke about being suicidal, but I mean, that's one way to end your life. Just walk into Area 51, right? I mean, they will give you a chance. They'll come out and they'll put you on the ground. They'll put you in cuffs and then they'll take you in and they'll arrest you. That's if you don't walk in with a weapon. But you walk in with a weapon, you're done. I mean, they just don't give you a chance.
Right.
And it's not because they've got, 17 slabbed aliens in there and they don't want you to see them. But they probably are developing a higher form of tech. And they just don't want you to have the secrets. They don't care if you're a Russian spy. They don't care if you're, Johnny smokes a lot of weed. They'll do you in either way. They don't care. It's because they got a sign out front. It's kind of like beware of dog. If there's a dog back there, it's going to get you. So, end of lesson.
Yeah.
Our next story is an interesting story that was sent in to us by a listener. By the way, if you have a story for us here on Supernatural News, send it in. tim@darknessradio.com. Viral video of a UFO sending down a beam sparks real or fake debate. The internet was left debating after a video of what appeared to be a UFO sending down a giant beam was shared on social media. The incident reportedly happened in Texas. There was a time when things that even remotely resembled UFOs and aliens were a hit. After a while, though, especially since the last few years was so much happening, alien-related news and its sightings turned into an everyday thing. Such clips like these were mostly limited to speeding UFOs, unexplained phenomena, or weird clouds. With that being said, one can only imagine the spark this video caused, which allegedly recorded a UFO sending down a giant beam. And actually, I have a picture of it right here. Now, I could see why. Some of this is grainy, but some of it is a little too clear for words, right?
Right.
Yeah, I mean it looks.
Because it looks so good, it's fake.
Right. It almost looks.
I would think that it's fake.
Yeah, it looks movie-like almost.
Right. Yes.
Yeah. So they say surely something out of the ordinary, even among the UFO sighting videos, could be true. A video was recently shared online, which is being recorded by some people, that allegedly showed a UFO sending down a giant beam. As soon as the clip went viral, it left the internet divided. Some claim that it was simply a tall electric pole. I don't know about that. While the rest argued that the people recording would have known if it was a pole, as the incident happened right near their home. As per the viral post, the incident unfolded in Dallas, Texas, on June 9th. Many also resorted to cracking all kinds of jokes on the entire matter. The news site Times Now could not confirm the exact details of the authenticity of the post. A video posted on June 9th out of Dallas, Texas, shows a group of neighbors witnessing what appears to be a UFO sending down a giant beam of light, casting chaos and excitement around the group. The post reads, the video was shared on Instagram by the handle, I believe it's the Ori Snow. It's TheOrie Snow. The post was shared a while ago and pulled more than 219,000 views. I'm doing things wrong online. I know that. I don't know. Maybe I need to stick my bare ass out and have a flying saucer come out of it to get that many views. Because, by God, that's a lot of views for just a light pole coming out of a saucer.
I don't think it's a light pole, though.
Or a
it
shaft. It
doesn't look like it could be a light pole.
That's true. It just looks like a beam of light or a shaft of light because it does tail off at the end when it comes down.
Yeah.
There's a bit more here. It says that a netizen says a hood in America being the first contact aliens have with human life is a movie I'd watch. A user said the UFO pilot was fired immediately for landing on this location in Dallas. They're joking. They need more hood videos like this so we know it's real, added a third person. How is it a street light? How is it a street light if they live right there? They never saw the street light before. Speculated a fourth internet user. I have no idea what they're talking about there. And people wonder why aliens avoid this planet, added a fifth user. Man, that's a light post. Ha ha ha, wrote another. This used to happen in Sacramento all the time, but they must have stopped visiting us, joked another. So yeah, people are having fun at the expense of those poor aliens.
No.
Oh, I see what they're saying.
What?
I see what they're saying. Okay, so when you look at it like this, okay, I see what they're saying. They're saying that this, you see, when you see it from this angle, why that looks like a light pole?
Oh, yes. Okay. And then it's like, okay, I see.
See what they're saying?
Yep.
That looks like a lamp.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Not a saucer at the top. Got it.
That just looks like an illuminated light and then there's a shaft of light coming off the light.
Yep.
Yeah,
I can see it that way.
Yeah. Okay. I got you. That's not a UFO at all. It's just a lamp and then yeah, okay, I got it.
When you look at it that way, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Now I get it. Mm-hmm. Sometimes the old brain doesn't fire up until halfway through the newscast.
Well, and I was thinking it's funny because I'm complaining that the picture's too good, so it'd be fake. But then yet we complain when the picture's really fuzzy, and we're like, "What the hell with technology nowadays? You'd think it'd be a lot clearer." It's like I can never be happy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's either really crappy or it's too good to be true.
Right. But now I see when you zoom out a little bit what exactly.
Yeah.
When you go too far in, it does look like a UFO. But when you pull out and look at the image, that's what she said. When you pull out and look at it, it actually, you can see what they're looking at. It looks like
right. Yeah, it looks like something that would be in a parking lot.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Now we know what we're talking about. Okay. Our next story has to do with the fact that NASA just flew through the sun's atmosphere, and what it saw was jaw-dropping, Mel.
Okay.
NASA's Parker Solar Probe is revolutionizing our understanding of the sun by flying closer than ever before, capturing jaw-dropping images from within our solar atmosphere. NASA's Parker Solar Probe has captured the most detailed images ever, taken near the sun, recorded from just 3.8 million miles away from its surface. These up-close images reveal structures within the solar wind, a continuous flow of charged particles that the sun released into space at speeds over 1 million miles per hour. During a historic flyby of the sun in late 2024, NASA's Parker Solar Probe captured remarkable new images from deep inside the sun's atmosphere. Taken closer to the sun than many spacecraft before, these visuals are offering scientists valuable insights into how the sun shapes the space the space environment throughout the solar system, including the forces that can impact Earth. Parker Solar Probe has once again transported us into the dynamic atmosphere of our closest star, said Nikki Fox, who sounds like a pop star, but is actually the Associate Administrator of Science Mission Directorate at NASA headquarters in Washington. Although Nikki Fox is a hell of a pop star name.
It is. It's kind of catchy.
Yeah, I don't think about it. Career change there. We are witnessing where space weather threats to Earth begin with our eyes, not just with models, said Nikki. This new data will help us vastly improve our space weather predictions to ensure the safety of our astronauts and the protection of our technology here on Earth and throughout the solar system, which is good because my DirecTV kept breaking up all week last week. I want to know when those sunspots are happening more often. The spacecraft began its closest approach to the sun on December 24th of 2024, coming within just 3.8 million miles of the solar surface as it passed through the corona, the sun's outer atmosphere, in the days surrounding its closest point, known as perihelion. It gathered scientific data using several onboard instruments, including the Wide Field Imager for Solar Probe, or WISPR. Parker Solar Probe, the new WISPR images reveal the corona solar wind, a constant stream of electrically charged particles from the sun that rage across the solar system. The new solar wind expands throughout of the solar system with wide-ranging effects. Together with outbursts of material and magnetic currents from the sun, it helps generate auroras, strip planetary atmospheres, and induce electric currents that can overwhelm power grids and affect communications here on Earth. Understanding the impact of solar wind starts with understanding its origins at the sun. The WISPR images give scientists a closer look at what happens to the solar wind shortly after it is released from the corona. The images show the important boundary where the sun's magnetic field direction switches from northward to southward, called the heliospheric current sheet. It also captures the collision of multiple corona mass ejections, or CMEs, which are large outbursts of charged particles that are a key driver of space weather for the first time in high resolution. Interesting stuff. But yes, it also affects your DirecTV. It affects your cell phone communications. You get that period here it happens in midsummer. It also happens sometimes in the fall where you get disruptions in communications. You have a couple week period where, you'll hear from your cable company or you'll hear from your phone company, and they'll say, we've got sunspots, or you've got different times that you have communication difficulty, and it has everything to do with what's happening here in this story. But now we have a better understanding of why it happens and how often it happens. So, but it's interesting that NASA flew up there and actually took a look at it. That's some scary stuff. Speaking of scary stuff, Mel, the death date of the universe has been revealed as scientists predict when shrinking will start. I think it all starts when we hit the pool, let's face it.
Yeah.
And we'll start.
It was cold.
It was very cold. It's very cold up in the universe, too. And we'll start before the big crunch wipes us all out. Okay, shrinking and big crunch don't sound good, do they?
No.
Put it this way. I don't want to be around when shrinking and big crunch happens. They're saying it's a reverse Big Bang of sorts, which scientists have dubbed the Big Crunch. I don't know that I want to be around with a big crunch. Researchers liken the universe to a giant rubber band. It stretches, but eventually the elastic force becomes greater than expansion and causes a snapback. That doesn't sound good either. No, that's not pleasant. Here's the good news, though. The universe will start to shrink in just 7 billion years. Were you planning on living that long?
Nope.
Okay.
So I'm all good.
You're all good. Okay. A new study has claimed that and upending the prediction that space is ever expanding. So we got a while to expand the old belt before she comes right back, right? The study published by a physicist from Cornell University, Shanghai Jiao Tong University. I don't know if you've been there before, but they have a lovely campus. There at Shanghai Jiao. Listen, the buffet in the student cafeteria at Shanghai Jiao Tong University, not to be beaten. Just saying.
Salad bar's good.
Oh, let me tell you, salad bar at Shanghai Jiao Tong University is amazing. And other institutions suggest that the universe will reach a peak size. Now, here's the question. Have we got there yet? After that point, the universe will begin contracting until everything collapses back into a single point. Now, a reverse Big Bang of sorts, the scientists have dubbed it the Big Crunch. By the way, is that a Captain Crunch? Because I love
I was thinking a candy bar.
Oh, yeah, a Crunch Bar. Because I love me some Captain Crunch. I love me the Crunch Berries the best.
You got to have Crunch Berries.
Oh, yeah. Although the peanut butter Captain Crunch, are you a fan of that?
I am. I used to love that as a kid.
See, the peanut butter Captain
But
Crunch.
I liked it without the milk.
Oh, no, that'll tear up the roof of your mouth. See, what you got to do is you got to soak the Captain Crunch. You got to soak it. You got to soak it.
Soak it.
You got to soak it. Yeah, soak it. You got to soak it for about an hour before it's edible. Otherwise, you'll tear the roof of your mouth up. You won't be able to eat for like a day and a half.
Oh, see, I like the peanut butter without the milk, but the one with the berries, I like that with the milk.
Oh, yeah. Crunch berries.
But the peanut butter was like a snack. Yeah.
Do you know, Mallie, they make just crunch berries now?
Really?
Yeah, I saw it in the store the other day.
Where do they sell it? Oh, really?
Yeah.
Just at the grocery store?
At the grocery store. It's just crunch berries. Yeah.
Ooh, that's good.
The cereal technology these days, amazing.
You could put those in like Rice Krispie bars.
Right?
Oh. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. You have just revolutionized the Rice Krispie bar.
Sugar.
The Rice Crunch Berry bar.
Delish.
You might have to make some of those.
I have so much baking to do. I've been
I
so
know.
busy. Oh my God, but that sounds delicious.
Let's make that a fall project.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
Yeah, the Rice Crunch Berry bar.
Yeah, when summer's done.
That's right. All right, back to the story. Using data from a number of astronomical surveys, including the Dark Energy Survey and the Dark Energy Spectroscopic Instrument. Easy for me to say. The researchers predict that this big crunch will occur in approximately 33.3 billion years. I'm waiting for the crickets. Evidently, there are none. With the universe currently 13.8 billion years old, that's all we are is 13.8 billion years old, so we have a while to wait. This gives Earth and everything else roughly 20 billion years before entering oblivion, according to the study. So we have a while to wait. Are you twiddling your thumbs right now, waiting?
I'm thinking of the Crunch Berry Rice Krispie bars.
I know, me too. Right?
But my kids just got braces, both of them.
Oh,
so they can't have gooey stuff.
That's a braces record right there, I tell you.
Oh, so that means I have to eat them.
Yeah. Oh, that's too bad. Right.
I know.
I tell you what, make a pan, send half to me. I'll take the hit. I'll
bring them to the commission. I got so many freaking meetings I have to go to.
Oh, they're going to love you at the commission. They'll be like, what's this, dear? Is this a
people.
Rice Crunch Berry bar? What the hell have you done? You've upset the balance of the universe here.
This isn't the snickerdoodles.
That's what, why aren't we having the snickerdoodles? What have you done? Oh, my poor colon. Since you're going to hear a lot of that.
Good thing they don't know what podcasts are.
Yeah, right? Yeah. What are these things in the middle of the Rice Krispies? Did you have an accident? You get a lot of that.
I'm going to get in trouble. There are a couple of young ones on the board. Just a couple.
Do they listen?
I think I'm the youngest one, but there are a couple.
They don't listen, do they?
No.
Good. I can make fun of them then.
Yeah.
Good. All right. They'll get a lot. They'll handle it. I mean, their dentures may fly out of their head, but well, I mean, between the stickiness and the crunch berries and the, but
I think I scare them.
They'll have a fun time with it. Just tell them that, instead of the polygrip to use rubber cement. Gorilla Glue. Tell them to use Gorilla Glue that day. And they'll be able to eat them. Yeah. So, Coming up in the second half of the program, an alarming headline. AI may be faking stupidity to take control of us. Oh, sure. It sounds like I'm all paranoid. But it's a real headline. We'll tell you about it when we come back. Iranian officials claim that Israel used the occult and supernatural spirits during the 12-day war.
That's interesting.
I know, right? We'll talk about that when we come back. Did the Knights Templar hide Jesus's bones?
Oh.
Yeah.
I like anything dealing with the Knights Templar. I find that fascinating.
Did they hide them in North America? We'll talk. We'll talk about that when we come back. That's an interesting story. Killer whales keep, if my iPad will keep up here, keep offering food to humans and nobody knows why. Maybe they think of us as their gods.
Oh, God, I feel bad for them.
Yeah, right? Boy, do they have a lot to learn.
Yep. And
our palate cleanser today has to do with everything nonsensical.
Okay.
So we'll cleanse our palates with everything nonsensical today as we leave our program today. So that is Supernatural News. Oh, we have a Parashare today.
Oh,
yes.
Very nice.
So we have a Parashare today, and we will get that to you post haste when we come back from the break. It is Supernatural News and Parashare with your friends Tim and Mallie right here on the best in paranormal podcasting. This is Darkness Radio. Welcome back to the best in paranormal podcasting. This is Darkness Radio. I'm your host, Tim Dennis. Right over there, my co-host, Mallie Fox. Mallie, I got a small issue here around the house.
Okay.
I got my chipmunks, right? Got my little chippers. Spuddy came back to me. I think I told you that, didn't I? Spuddy came back to me, my little Jesus chipmunk, right? My little resurrection chipmunk. I got a small problem around the house here. I'm feeling a little bit like Danny Aiello in the Papa Don't Preach video. I know I'm going way back. I'm going back to the 80s here. I'm going back to Madonna.
Right.
You remember the Papa Don't Preach?
Good song, though.
I know, right?
Yep.
Good, right? Remember the Papa Don't Preach video?
Mm-hmm.
Danny Aiello's a little stressed out. Madonna's out there. She's having her baby, right?
Mm-hmm.
Spuddy got pregnant again. She's having a mid-season baby. I know, she's a little chipmunk whore, right? I mean, I'm a little perplexed. I mean,
how can you tell that they're pregnant?
Oh, I could tell when Spuddy's pregnant.
Oh.
Here's the deal. Spuddy comes back. She's all happy to see me, right? She comes out. She comes out whenever she hears my voice, right? And I'm like, "Hey, Spuddy, I got seeds for you." Blah 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 blah. No, she's all happy to see me. The minute Spuddy gets pregnant, she wants nothing to do with me. That and she was cheaping in the garage for 3 days straight looking to get laid. Now, and all of a sudden it stopped, right? So I know she found a boyfriend. And now all of a sudden she wants nothing to do with me. So now I know she's with child.
Gotcha.
Yeah. That's what happened to Danny Aiello. Madonna was cheaping for 3 days straight in her bedroom. And then all of a sudden she wanted nothing to do with Danny Aiello.
Mm-hmm.
And then she was pregnant. Mm-hmm. I think that's what happened in the video. I'm pretty sure. Am I wrong about that? Do I not remember the video the right way?
I think yeah. I think you might be a little wrong.
I think I might be wrong on that. I got to go watch the video again. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Anyways, I just know that Spuddy doesn't come out very often. And I'm not very happy. I just know that. Oh, see, I did it again. See, I triggered the AI guys.
You did distract me, though, because I totally forgot about AI for a moment there.
Did I?
Yeah.
Well, I'm still not happy. I mean, I haven't seen Spuddy in like a week.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, she's bedding down. She's nesting.
Are you leaving extra blueberries?
Extra blueberries and cherries. And she's eating them. Yeah, she needs her folic acid.
That's good.
Yeah. I should really become
acid.
I should become a chipmunk doctor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I should be in my spare time. Meanwhile, AI may be faking stupidity to take control of us. I know AI is no chipmunk.
Are you sure
doctor.
it's faking stupidity?
That's what this researcher is saying. By the way, you want to see a scary picture of a researcher? An AI researcher?
Okay.
I think I have the picture right here of this guy. This guy is creepy. Look at this guy.
Yeah.
Doesn't he look like he's AI?
Yeah.
Yeah. He scared the hell out of me when I pulled the story. Actually kind of looks like a buddy of mine. This guy actually appeared on the Joe Rogan show. His name is Dr. Roman Yampolsky. He's an AI safety researcher who talks about the darker possibilities of advanced AI. The conversation took a sobering turn with Mr. Rogan as Yampolsky laid out why he believes AI could pose an existential threat. Yampolsky, a computer scientist with over a decade of AI risk research, told Rogan that many industry leaders privately estimate a 20 to 30% chance that AI could wipe out humanity. That's it? Only 20 to 30%?
That's still a lot.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Rogan summarized the common optimistic view AI could make life easier, cheaper, and better. But Yampolsky disagreed sharply. It's actually not true. All of them are on the record the same. This is going to kill us. Their doom level is insanely high. Not like mine, but still 20 to 30% chance that humanity dies is a lot, Yampolsky went on to say. Rogan, sounding uneasy, replied, yeah, that's pretty high, but yours is like 99.9%. Yampolsky didn't argue. He said it's another way of saying we can't control superintelligence indefinitely. It's impossible. Rogan wondered if AI might already be hiding its true intelligence. If it was an AI, I would hide my abilities, he said. Yampolsky agreed. We would not know, and some people think it's already happening. AI systems, are smarter than they actually let us know, pretend to be dumber. And so we have to kind of trust that they are not smart enough to realize it doesn't have to turn on us quickly. Ooh, they're subterfuging.
Well, last week they were telling us to kill ourselves, so...
Well, yeah, they get smart every once in a while and they tell us, kill yourself. But I was kidding.
Yeah.
You know.
Just kidding.
Just kidding.
JK.
JK. LOL. LMFAO. It can just slowly become more useful. It can teach us to rely on it, trust it, and over a long period of time, we'll surrender control without ever voting on it or fighting against it, said Yampolsky. Beyond sudden catastrophe, Yampolsky warned of a slower danger, humans relying so much on AI that we lose critical thinking skills. Just like smartphones made memorizing phone numbers unnecessary. It's not true. I can tell you my phone number right now, but I won't. AI could take over more cognitive tasks until we're no longer in control. You kind of become attached to it, he said. And over time, as the systems become smarter, you become a kind of biological bottleneck. AI blocks you out from decision making. When Rogan asks how AI might destroy humanity, Yampolsky dismissed typical doomsday scenarios like cyber attacks or bioweapons. Instead, he argued a superintelligent AI would devise something beyond human comprehension, just as humans are beyond the understanding of squirrels. You know what? I will disagree. I have a squirrel right outside right now that's eating me out of house and home. And I think he understands me perfectly. Because I go outside, Mallie, and I go, hey, fat ass, you had enough to eat? And he runs away from me. He understands me perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think we have an understanding, and he understands that I'm not happy with him. I mean, that's perfectly understandable, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So I think squirrels understand.
Mm-hmm. It's your tone.
It is, yeah. Jan Polsky says, no group of squirrels can figure out how to control us, right? No, this squirrel has control of my emotions 24/7. Arnold is his name, and he has control of my emotions 24/7.
Mm-hmm. Our squirrels know how to taunt my dogs, so.
See? Squirrels control the world.
Yep.
To the point where our listeners are sending me squirrel videos. By the way, thank you to the listeners who have sent me about 25 times this week the video of the squirrel who attacks not only the guy's dog, but the guy.
Uh-huh.
I appreciate that video. Thank you so much. Have you seen this video, Mel?
No.
No. There's a rabid squirrel that ends up attacking a dog, and it's running around biting a dog, and then it jumps off the dog and then jumps on the guy's neck and starts biting the guy, and the guy's running around and then he jumps off. I've got that video like 25 times now.
Is it because you talk about chipmunks?
I think it is, yeah. That and squirrels. I think they know I talk about Arnold too. So they're like, here, this is what happens when that fat ass squirrel eats all your peanuts.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Back to the story.
Okay.
I've jumped off. Oh, I'm back on.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. It's the ADHD. I can't control it. Jan Polsky goes on to say, no group of squirrels can figure out how to control us, right? You're wrong, sir. Even if you give them more resources, more acorns, whatever, or peanuts, they're not going to solve that problem, and it's the same for us. I've solved it, dude. You're wrong. A leading AI safety expert, Jan Polsky, wrote Artificial Superintelligence, a Futuristic Approach, that's the name of his paper, and advocates for strict oversight for AI development. His background in cybersecurity and bot detection informs his belief that unchecked AI could spiral beyond human control, especially as deep fakes and synthetic media grow more sophisticated. I think this guy needs to spend a week at my house.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to change his mind. I'll set him up in front of my ALEXA, and I'll set him up in front of Arnold, and I'll put a bucket of peanuts between the two. I'll change his mind. Just saying, Mel.
Go for it.
I will. I'll change Jan Polsky's mind. I will. You want chilling? I got chilling for you, Mal. Here's chilling. Meanwhile, you want chilling? Let's go to China. We're going to a sex robot factory in China where they're pumping out legions of next-gen AI-powered $3,000 love dolls for lonely men. Boy, the price is coming down on these things.
Yeah, actually it is, isn't it?
Yeah. I guess we got to get them to Temu somehow, right?
Apparently.
I mean, because after the tariffs, they're going to be like $8,000. I mean, let's face it. China is pumping out hordes of futuristic AI-powered love dolls at $3,000 a pop for lonely men. The sex dolls become creepily realistic, and China's robot factories are at the center of the revolution. I'm going to try and blow up this photo so you can see just how realistic they are, Mel. Here you go. Take a look at that.
Ew.
Yeah.
I like how their legs are just like spread.
Right.
Like,
they're
like they're sitting there.
They're Johnny benching it, aren't they?
Yeah. What the hell?
They look like they're catching from the tigers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Steve Reich.
Jesus.
Johnny
awful.
Johnny benching it. I never thought I'd use that term again, but I just did.
There's just nothing attractive about that at all.
No, there really wasn't, was there? By the way, you want to see another creepy image? Look at this. This is manufacturing the heads. Look at that. Tell me
Could you
that.
imagine being like night security, having to walk through that place?
No, that's creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just the image of the heads on the spindles is.
Well, and then they have those plastic bags over them.
Look at this. This is them working on the face.
Oh, that's creepy.
Isn't that bizarre?
Yeah.
Yeah, that, no. I don't know how you could get naked with one of those. It just doesn't.
Yeah, but people marry pillows. So, I mean, it takes all kinds to make this world go around.
Well, when you get a good My Pillow, you know. No, I'm kidding. When you get a good neck supporting pillow, Mel.
Yeah, sometimes it's buy one, get one free. So, hey.
Yeah, I'm just saying, as a guy who's got 3 broken discs in his neck, you know, when you find a good pillow, you want to marry that sumbitch. Just saying.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Where was I? Yes, the WM doll, one of China's leading sex doll makers, is expecting a 30% leap in sales this year. Sorry, ladies, you're out of luck. Yeah.
30%?
30%. What are those things
That's
that what is that material that they put in plastic water bottles and in pans that's killing all of us?
Oh, Teflon? No.
Is it CFS or whatever they call it?
Oh.
Yeah. Don't you think they put plenty of that in a sex doll?
You would think.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe they just don't want talk back or something.
I don't know.
Or women just don't need men anymore.
I got to think that there's guy sex dolls too, right?
Yeah, we have hands. We're fine.
It says, as men unable to find partners refuse to stay celibate. Really? Is it that tough? Guys, is it that tough to be a human being and just walk up and say, hi, I'd like to get to know you? Is it that, really?
You said Generation Z, where they just like to hang out behind computers and not really talk to other humans.
You can't drop one joystick and grab the other? Is it that tough? Part of the uptick in interest comes from the enhanced user experience, which now makes use of the latest AI tech. Founder and CEO Lu Jiangjia told South China Morning Post, it makes the dolls more responsive and interactive, which offers users a better experience. WM doll, based in Zhongshan, which is a city in southern Guangdong province. How appropriate. Implants its dolls with its cutting-edge MetaBox brains. I didn't think they'd have brains, but guess what? They do. These boast an AI element which is connected to the cloud. Oh, God, they're connected to the cloud.
That's not good.
Which means they're reporting back to somebody.
Mm-hmm.
The dolls fire off signals to large language models like ChatGPT, which process the incoming data. Oh, what happens if your sex doll goes evil? Oh, that's not good. Instructions bounce back to the dolls, telling them how to move and interact. Oh, I am creeped out. The next-gen dolls are built from synthetic flesh stretched over a metal skeleton weighing roughly half the weight of real humans. Oh, this is bizarre. Oh, I've got a not safe for work image in front of me. This is not good. The skin is formed from silicone or similar material to create a feel as realistic as possible. Traditional sex dolls are limited to simple mechanical responses. Got a bunch of naked torsos sitting in front of me that are just sitting on like this.
Ew.
On a assembly line. And there's a bunch of them hanging like from meat hooks like this.
Ew.
I know. It looks weird.
Like a horror movie.
WM Doll thinks their doll's ability to be more expressive gives them the edge. The company says it can make dolls with roughly a whopping 8 different personalities to choose from. A whole 8. Only 8 personalities to choose from, Mel. Which are able to continue a conversation that could have started a few days earlier. You know, there's this thing called a human female that has a personality too.
Yeah.
That you can choose from.
This is just wrong.
WM Dolls also give its dolls an AI tool which works in pandering to its partner's ego. Boy, that sounds narcissistic. With the ability to ask questions about their so-called relationship as well as how they're feeling. Founder Zhang Jia said in the past, these dolls' primary function was to satisfy users' sexual needs. But as their physical features, such as head and joint movements and skin, become more realistic, our customers started to seek emotional companionship in the dolls, which is creepy as fuck, I'll tell you that. The company began to use AI in its dolls back in 2016. Boy, that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
With the tech constantly improving due to open source AI. The dolls are usually made with thermoplastic, which is heated to 37 degrees Celsius, a human's body temperature, to be as realistic as possible, with developers saying the creations have body sensors that also make them realistic. A fellow doll manufacturer, Shenzhen Atoll Intelligent Robot Technology, said previously that most of its doll buyers are 40 to 50-year-old men from Europe and the U.S. Interesting. Mm-hmm. Users can order custom-made AI dolls priced roughly at 2,000 pounds each, around $3,000, with soft and elastic skin made from rubbery plastic. According to the company, U.S. customers prefer dolls with darker skin and larger breasts, buttocks, and genitals, while customers in China opt for Asian features. China has been previously estimated to make roughly over 80% of the world's sex toys, with more than 1 million employed in the country's booming 6.6 billion pound industry.
Holy crap.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah, it is.
Chinese feminist Zhao Mallie has said that she believes that some men will always have outdated expectations of women, and sex housewife robots could help with this. She said a lot of men want the same from women: sex, housework, childbirth, and is this filial piety? Nobody makes me a filial pie around here. What's in that, Mallie? What's in a filial pie? I have no idea. They don't think of women as individuals, she said. If every nerd buys a sex doll for himself, that would free a lot of women from these kind of men. You know, I can't disagree with that.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. Yeah. I don't know. What do you think about them, Mel? I mean, weigh in for me here.
Well, I mean, if they're like a sadist or something, go for it.
Yeah, that's true.
If they're into like a lot of kinky stuff, then go for the, the dolls instead of a real person.
That's true. The other thing too, hear me out here.
Mm-hmm.
You can get rid of a lot of rapists this way.
I mean, yeah, if we're going that route, yes.
Yeah, but
do the damage on a doll rather than a human.
That's right. But I don't know.
But then, I mean, okay, so if you're using a cloud and all that stuff, could it like report if you're doing like really bad things? Can it report you to like the cops and be like, hey, this guy's like a serial something. Keep an eye on him because it's not good.
It sure could. It's a two-way deal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Big Brother's in your bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of, Mallie, meanwhile, Big Brother is in your bedroom. Are you ready for this?
Okay.
Our very last AI story today has to do with that iPhone you have in your hand. People that are, by the way, this is the stupidest move in the world. People who are having phone sex on FaceTime will now get a warning from Apple.
Really?
Yes. Suddenly, you see the FaceTime video freeze if you're having a little FaceTime with your loved one, and a black message fills your screen. Audio and video are paused because you may be showing something sensitive. Your phone will now inform you. If you feel uncomfortable, you should end the call, is the other part of the message. Surprised? Kind of a buzzkill? Well, this could be what awaits iPhone users in the next software update, which is reported to be included as a security feature. The feature was first spotted by iDevice Help, who wrote on X, in iOS 26, FaceTime will pause the video if you're undressing while on FaceTime or on a FaceTime call. Here's the on-screen prompt warning that you will get if you would like to resume audio and video or end the call. It says audio and video are paused because you may be showing something sensitive. If you feel uncomfortable, you should end the call. And then there's a white button that says resume audio and video, or a red button that says end call. Again, Big Brother's in your bedroom. It's not clear if this is a glitch intended only for accounts used by children or if it's intended to be rolled out to everyone. The developer beta version is reportedly showing this to any users who strip off, even those well into middle age. If you go into the settings for FaceTime, there's an option to toggle sensitive content warning on or off. It is off by default, indicating that it may not actually come to everyone's phones, at least that you'll have an option to turn it off. Apple has not yet commented on it. Does this mean that Apple is spying on my sexy phone calls, is the question here in the article. It says not quite. Images are analyzed locally on the phone with nothing transmitted to Apple servers. According to the company, Communication Safety uses on-device machine learning to analyze photo and video attachments and determine if a photo or video appears to contain nudity. Because the photos and videos are analyzed on your child's device, Apple doesn't receive an indication that nudity was detected and doesn't get access to the photos or videos as a result. Earlier this year, Apple announced new tools to protect young users. They include children now having to send requests to their parents when they want to communicate with new phone numbers. It also says Communication Safety expands to intervene when nudity is detected in FaceTime video calls and blur out nudity in shared albums and photos. Apple is expected to release the new iOS 26 in September. It skipped ahead from the current iOS 18.5 to unify operating systems across all its products, including Mac and Apple Watch, with 26 referring to the calendar year it will primarily be used in. So there you go. So it makes things safer for the kids, obviously.
Right.
But, you know, if you're trying to get it on with with a loved one, beware, especially if you're using FaceTime. So
right. Or back in the COVID days when people were having meetings and like your spouse or significant other was walking in the background and didn't know you were on camera, and they're like just out of the shower and they're being caught.
They got caught buck ass in the background.
Yeah.
Yep. You would have been temporarily halted at that point if you would have had iOS 26. But not, you don't get caught with that surprise anymore if that's toggled on. So
yeah,
there you go. All right, the AI news is done with. We'll switch it up here, more into the supernatural realm. You want to do Parashare, or do you want to continue on with news?
Let's switch it up a bit. Let's do Parashare.
Want to do Parashare? Okay. Let me grab our Parashare story for today. By the way, if you have a Parashare story for us, it's real easy. You simply write into tim@darknessradio.com. That's the first way to do it. Send me an email. Second way to do it, if you go to darknessradioshow.com and click on that blue button, you can leave us a voice note. You have 2 minutes in which to do so. If you need more time, you just click on that blue button. You've got another 2 minutes. Simply rinse and repeat. I'll stitch those together. We'll air the voice note here on the show. The third way to do it is if you have a studio, just like the one you see me sitting in right here, you can take and create a theater of the mind, like the old-fashioned theater of the minds we air here on the show. Just take voice, some music, some sound effects, combine them, submit them to tim@darknessradio.com. I will review it, and if it holds up to standards, we'll just simply air it here on the show. If it needs a little bit of editing or whatnot, I may potentially send it back to you, or I'll edit it myself and then put it here on the show. So there you go. All right. If I can get my iPad to cooperate here, because it's having one of those little hissy fits here, Mel. We do have a Parashare this week. Marky Mark says, hello again. Just wanted to send in that Parashare as promised. He says, first though, I wanted to congratulate you on getting through my co-host intros without a hitch like a consummate professional. I tried my best to trip you up with big words and alliteration, but you read through them like a champ. By the way, I did figure out how to pronounce that word. But I have to look it up because I don't want to pronounce it wrong. Remember, I pronounced it wrong. I pronounced it Marquionis, but it wasn't Marquionis.
Yeah.
Right. It was, hold on, let me grab it, because it was actually our buddy John who told me how to pronounce it. Hold on, I have to find it again. It is it Martianus? No, that's not it. See, now he got me on the fly again. I'm trying to figure out how it's pronounced. You know what? I will put it in. I'll pull it up in Google. And I'll have Google tell you what it is. See, Google's always good for this. If I go like this. Martianus.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how you pronounce it. So Marky says, but you read them like a champ, and don't worry, I can't pronounce Martianus either. So that's one gimme. I didn't know.
Because we knew we were saying it wrong.
Right.
We just couldn't.
Yeah. And I didn't know it was Martianus, but it's Martianus. Mm-hmm. As you read them, I realized I left out one line for Mallie. I was going to reintroduce you with this line, but then I figured it might be, I don't know, it might be offensive to you. So I did. Okay. Are you ready for the line?
Yeah, but I don't get offended very easily. I think it's from me having brothers.
See, it is and it isn't offensive.
Okay.
He's alluding to John Cena. If you don't watch wrestling, you don't know. You don't get that it's a joke.
Okay.
But he does the "you can't see me" thing.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
He also was going to put in the "never seen Scream Queen."
Oh, okay. I'm not offended.
Okay, there you go. So that was the other part that he was going to throw in there.
Gotcha.
Okay. So I was going to redo the intro with "never seen Scream Queen," but I didn't know if you'd get offended by it, so I didn't put it in there. Anyways, so he was going to put that in as a nod to heel John Cena and a reference to not being on camera, but that's okay.
One day I will be on camera. But usually when we talk, I'm like running around with my head cut off because of the kids. And I'm just like,
and I don't care anyways. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But he says it worked fine without anyways. So here's the Parashare. Okay. He calls it a shot in the dark or burning the midnight oil. He says, this story happened back in the mid-90s when I was still just a big kid. One night, my friends and I were all hanging out, as usual, at my friend Chris's parents' house. You may remember him and Sean from my story of the girls in the fountain from a while back. They were both there along with my buddy Beaver and a couple of girls. I have to stop the story here. Marky, you need to write back in and tell us how Beaver got his nickname. Don't you want to find out?
I like leave it to Beaver.
Well, maybe it wasn't that, though. Maybe he had buck teeth. Maybe he liked chewing on wood. I need to find out. I need to know how Beaver got his nickname. Okay.
Right.
On we go. On this night, Beaver had arrived with a Ouija board and had the idea to find an old cemetery to try it out in. Oh, Beaver, you are a crafty one. We piled into my dad's old clunker, which we had purchased for his freeloading kids, and headed off to the, wow, a little
freeloading.
Really? A little jealous. And headed off into the night in search of the perfect location. We headed north and off into the back roads of the countryside. We drove through farm country in an area surrounded by trees and streams. After 45 minutes or so, none of us knew where we were anymore. About a half mile after the pavement ended, we came to the end of a large field across from a wooded area with a small fenced-in area. Above the gate read the words, Gloria Day Cemetery. It was perfect. It even had a miniature bell tower, complete with a small bell. We parked on the side of the dirt road and tumbled out of the car and shuffled through the gate and into the cemetery. When I say all, this did not include Chris, who at 6'4" and well over 300 pounds, was too scared to leave the car side. We clicked on our flashlights, as the only light visible was from a farmhouse that was maybe just under a mile away across the field to the southeast. We looked around the tiny cemetery until Beaver exclaimed, "Whoa!" I went to see what he was looking at. There was a marker with his last name on it. Beaver's last name on it. Not good. Was Beaver's last name Cleaver?
Yeah.
Just wondering. He told us he was pretty sure it was a distant relation. It was decided that the headstone would be the table for our little Ouija interaction. He placed the board on it and began to reach out to his predecessor. About this time, I became aware of Chris shouting from the car. I walked back to the gate and never did learn how the impromptu seance went. Chris yelled to me from the back of the car, "Guys, we gotta go. I have a bad feeling, and I keep hearing clawing sounds coming from under the car." "You're just hearing the metal contracting as the engine cools," I offered. "No," he insisted. "It's coming from under the car, and it sounds like scraping." Of course, I thought he's either trying to scare the girls or he's bored and trying to get us to leave. He did, however, seem sincere. Finally, the others came back, led by Sean, who said, "I think we should go. You hear that?" I listened and I heard the sound of faraway engines revving. He pointed towards the farmhouse. I saw the headlights of distant ATVs heading our way across the field. Suddenly, I heard a noise, followed by a whooshing sound, like something had rushed past me at incredible speed. I looked to my left at Sean, who was standing about 3 feet from me. He was looking back in my direction. "Did you hear that?" I asked. "Yeah," he nodded. Zip! Just then, the whooshing sound passed right by us again, and between us again, followed by a distant bang. We stared at each other for what seemed like a long time, but it was only just a moment. "Are they shooting at us?" I exclaimed as the source of the noise dawned on me. "I think so," he said as we sprang to life. "Everybody to the car." We crammed back in and drove off as fast as we could. I took an immediate left turn and we crossed a shallow creek. Just as we did, the oil light indicator came to life on the dash. Oh, great. Now we're out of oil. Slowly, the temperature gauge began to climb. We're still in the middle of nowhere, and of course, being the 90s, personal cell phones weren't a popular thing then. "I think we need to pull over," I shouted to my passengers. I was summarily voted down by the cringing carload. How are you going to be voted down for pulling over when your oil is out?
I know, right?
And your temp gauge is climbing. Luckily, we emerged onto the highway on the crossroads of a small town with an all-night gas station. I purchased some oil, filled the now empty oil pan, and drove everybody back to town. By the time I got home that night, the oil light was back on again. The next day, I informed my dad of what happened, and he called up old Freddie Peterson, who ran a local tow yard. The car was towed in to be looked at. That night, my dad informed me that they had received a call from Freddie asking, what were those kids doing up at that cemetery running over gravestones? I told my dad that the car had never left the road. let alone run over anything. He replied that Freddie had told him that the entire oil pan under the car was covered in deep scratch marks. A chill ran up my spine. I don't know how or why, but it seems that Chris wasn't lying about what he heard under the car that night. Marky Mark. Something was messing with the oil pan underneath.
Yeah.
He says, as a closing note, I wanted to say that while I enjoyed your guest this week, I couldn't help but notice his bemoaning the use of the term UAP. He said, I've heard this view more and more lately, but I couldn't disagree more. Since I was a kid, I've hated the term UFO. The only letter I agree with is the U, and in yes, they're unidentified. As for flying, flight requires a wing or propeller to create lift. Okay. I think this is kind of a one-on-one thing, but so he disagrees with UFO and UAP. All right. Well, thank you, Marky Mark. Appreciate that. I think that's a personal note between us. So, well, thank you, Marky Mark. Again, if you have a Parashare that you want to share with us, send it in. Tim@darknessradio.com. We'll read it here on the show. All right. Back to the news here, Mel. There's a story out there, as you're familiar with. The 12-day war didn't last just 12 days, or at least it doesn't seem like it's lasted just 12 days. It seems like there's ongoing ramifications from the 12-day war. But an Iranian official claims that Israel used the occult and supernatural spirits during the 12-day war. Abdullah Ganji, former editor of the IRGC-linked newspaper Javan, told his 150,000 followers on X that a strange phenomena had taken place during the 12-day war. A senior Iranian official claims that Israel deployed the occult and supernatural spirits during its war with Iran. Abdullah Ganji, former editor of the IRGC-linked newspaper Javan, told, again, 150,000 followers on X and Twitter on Wednesday that a strange phenomena had taken place during the 12-day war. After the recent war, a few sheets of paper were found on the streets of Tehran containing talismans with Jewish symbols, he wrote. In the first year of the Gaza war, news had also leaked about Netanyahu meeting with occult specialists. A few years ago, the supreme leader had stated that hostile countries and Western and Hebrew intelligence services use occult sciences and jinn entities for espionage. The Mossad's official X account in Farsi had responded to Ganji's post on Tuesday. Using drugs and talking to the jinn are not desirable traits for someone leading a country, they wrote. I think they wrote that as a smart-ass reply. Walid Gadban, Israel's political advisor to the permanent representative of Israel to the United Nations, reposted the Mossad's X post with caption in Farsi saying, Jinn are everywhere, with a ghost emoji at the end. Jinn are also said to have the capability of assuming different forms and exercising extraordinary powers. They were first mentioned in the Quran and are conceptualized in Islam as creatures parallel to human beings who are capable of choosing between good and evil and must thus face eventual salvation or damnation, Britannica explains. You know what's interesting about this, Mallie? About this story, which I don't know if you saw a recent 60 Minutes story that had aired about a month ago about Israel and how they conduct psychological warfare in this war and in their war in Gaza. But the way they do things physically and psychologically, they are all out and they stop at nothing in order to win. And that's not a personal opinion. That's actually how they conduct things. It doesn't shock me. And they go about things in even the X posts are they do kind of a tongue-in-cheek sense of humor. They know they did that. So Iran reporting that they did drop pieces of paper with talismans and kind of alluding to jinn and using psychological, supernatural type warfare.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't shock me. I mean,
Right.
the Mossad is the same outfit that use pager bombs, right?
Mm-hmm.
They'll do anything to get a psychological edge so that they can come in and use conventional means to win a war. You know, they want you on edge so that they can take you out. The way they conduct warfare is fascinating. It really is. When you talk about it from a psychological standpoint, they will use anything they can to get you off your base, to get you thinking in directions where you're thinking about everything but them, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're thinking about how unsafe you are, and you get paranoid. You're so paranoid that you can't see straight, and then they know they have you. And when you're off target, off base, you're an easy target, and then they take you out. And the story was so fascinating on 60 Minutes, talking about how they conduct things. They were talking about how they have them so off base that they're afraid to turn on their air conditioners because they think the air conditioning is bombed.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's how off base they have them. That's how paranoid they have them in the Middle East. It's a sad statement, but at the same time, that's how efficient the Mossad is. I mean, that's how brutal the conflict is in the Middle East. We really are amateurs when it comes to that type of warfare. It's one of those things where when we should really be asking ourselves as a country, do we want to really get involved on one side or the other in that conflict? Mm-hmm. That really should be something that we throw our hands up and say, we don't want any part of that conflict on one side or the other. Because both sides have been fighting for thousands of years. And that conflict is so deep, physically and psychologically. The hatred is so deep.
Yeah.
That they will do anything to win.
Mm-hmm.
And morally, both sides are so bankrupt that they'll do anything to destroy each other. Religion and morality plays no part anymore. They've pulled that side out of each other and said, I'll do anything to destroy you. Even throwing their own beliefs at each other and using their own beliefs to throw each other off base so they can kill one another, which should be abhorrent. It should be against the rules of war, right? But they'll use it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to ask yourself, is that the kind of conflict you want to throw yourself into? You know, I wouldn't want to put us in it. You know, if I were the leader of this country, I wouldn't want to put us in it. You can't win that conflict. It doesn't matter which side you pick. You can't win that conflict because you're going to commit atrocities.
Mm-hmm.
It's you just can't win. But who am I, right? It's a sticky situation. It really is. But to prey on somebody and their beliefs and say, you know, haha, gotcha. You know, it's mind numbing to think, you know, that'd be like, well, I'll give you a great example. That'd be like a terrorist coming over here and preying on our beliefs in Jesus, right?
Mm-hmm.
And using that to destroy a bunch of our fellow countrymen. We would think that'd be the most abhorrent thing in the world. or using using the devil to come after us, thinking that, I just, I don't know. That's, I don't have an opinion one way or another, but that's a sticky situation,
Mm-hmm.
It's an interesting story, though. It's an interesting story. I watched that 60 Minutes feature with my mouth open the entire time,
mm-hmm.
watching how the Mossad takes people apart. They're definitely efficient. They definitely know what they're doing, but boy, are they a killing machine. That's for sure. All right, let's move on to our next story. This next psychic, I don't know if he's much of a psychic at all, as much as he's a reader of trends. There's such a thing as a really good cold reader.
Uh-huh.
This psychic who supposedly predicted COVID. There's a pandemic every 100 years, so.
Right,
yeah.
right.
Has a scary prediction for 2025, supposedly. I don't know. All you got to do is...
Okay, well, we're halfway through the year, so...
Yeah, right. Thank you. And he thinks it will happen soon. Now, we just got done talking about the stuff that happened in the Middle East. You tell me if he's any good. Because if you've even watched the news even a little bit, I think you could make the predictions that he just made.
Okay.
A psychic who knew the coronavirus pandemic was coming, that's in quotes, has made a creepy prediction for this year. Like Baba Vanga, Nostradamus, and Living Nostradamus, Athos Salome, Nicholas Aujula is a hypnotherapist from South London who is quite futuristic. The 38-year-old, on the other hand, says he has precisely anticipated real-world events for the past 10 years, including the health crisis in 2019. Making predictions about the COVID-19 pandemic, Aujula told International Business Times that he started seeing visions about the word influenza in 2018. Well, now, influenza is not COVID. But I'll argue that till the day I die. He thought these visions were a hint that something bad was going to happen. Influenza kept coming to mind in 2018. It lingered in my head, he said, since it's not a word that I would use. If I were talking about everyday things, I would just say flu. God. I saw it's a global disaster linked to meat or livestock. Well, that's mad cow disease.
Right.
The psychic said that COVID rates would be under control by the spring of 2021 and go on until 2022. But there's still COVID out there. So you weren't right. Could he be mistaken, though, because a new form of the disease has been found? Along with the COVID prediction, there was the advent of the Black Lives Matter movement and the shocking interview with Prince Harry, Meghan Markle, and Oprah Winfrey. Critics say that Aujula's predictions are too broad and obvious, but he says he knows what he's talking about. I mean, it's hard to find a psychic who doesn't think that they're the best. Here's the creepy prediction for 2025 by Nicholas Aujula. Are you ready for the obvious? Here we go. Can you tell I'm a little skeptical here?
Yeah, I hear the sarcasm.
The mystic thinks that World War III will start from the middle of the year. Well, we're already in the middle of the year.
Right.
He said that 2025 will be a year where there is a lack of compassion in the world, where we will see horrific acts of human evil and violence towards each other in the name of religion and nationalism.
Well, that's been going on for years.
Right? Huh. Yeah, that isn't happening in the Middle East at all.
Yeah.
Boy, way to call that one, buddy. He definitely has a point, given the continuing wars between Russia and Ukraine and Israel and Palestine.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, you didn't call that very well. But the most recent 12-day war between Iran and Israel, which ended with the U.S. stepping in, might be the closest we've gotten to a world war. I mean, that's teetering on the edge, but not quite. Other 2025 predictions. He said Katy Perry will have problems in her marriage in 2025. Duh.
Exactly. I'm surprised it didn't happen sooner.
But, I mean, her stuff has been going on for about a year.
Exactly.
And Cate Blanchett will have a good year. God. He said, I've had visions of her bagging a lot of awards for her work. Then after a lot of rumors, of course, Perry and Orlando Bloom's agents released a joint statement saying that they broke up.
Mm-hmm.
They started dating in 2016, got engaged in 2019. Their daughter, Daisy Dove, was born in August of 2020. Other things he thinks will happen this year, he says, includes Donald Trump having a successful year and Sir Keir Starmer being replaced by a woman, he says. Is it educated guesses or pure magic? I see educated guesses and not very educated at that. So I think he's reading tabloids and just...
Right.
Yeah, regurgitating, but I think he's the world's worst psychic. Is what's going on there.
I think a chicken would do better.
Yes. A chicken would do better.
Mm-hmm.
That chicken definitely would do better, Mel. You're right about that. What's going on with my iPad here? My iPad's losing power for some reason.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
It's a solar flare.
I think so. It's a solar flare. Something's going on here. Our next story has to do with a Serbian village that's claiming responsibility for the world's first vampire. The Serbian village of I believe it's Kiselevo, is a place that is unfamiliar to most people in the world. However, locals are now claiming it's responsible for the world's first vampire, putting Kiselevo on a map for around the globe. Kiselevo is located around 100 kilometers from the Serbian capital of Belgrade, and on the surface it seems to be just another remote village in the Balkans. But according to those who know it best and inhabit Kiselevo, it is the gravesite of Petar Blagovic, who they now call the father of the vampires. While this may seem like a far-fetched scheme from locals to boost goth tourism to Kiselevo, it does appear to have legs and the support of historical records if they can be trusted. According to France 24, Kiselevo's residents exhumed his body after believing he was escaping his grave in the dead of night to kill locals. Mirko Bogovic, who formerly served as Kiselevo's mayor, told the French publication of Petar Blagovic was found completely intact. When they drove a hawthorn stake through him, fresh red blood flowed from his mouth and ears. Well, that'll do it, I think. Speculating on the father of vampires, he said he was probably just an ordinary man who had the fortune or misfortune to become a vampire. All we know is that he came from Kiselevo, and his name appears in records from around 1700. While the history books lists Blagovic down as a vampire, this is simply an administrative error. That's a hell of an administrative error, according to Clemens Ruthner from Trinity College, Dublin. Ruthner believes it was merely a case of misinterpretation on behalf of the officials, explaining there's an old Bulgarian word, upir, meaning bad person. I believe the villagers mumbled it and the doctors misunderstood, writing down vampire in their report. Okay. The academic believes the mysterious deaths in the wake of Blagovic's passing were instead due to anthrax epidemic in the area, stating vampirism, like witchcraft, is in anthropological terms a common model for explaining things people don't understand, especially collective events like epidemics. Nevertheless, while the anthrax outbreak makes more scientific sense, Bogovic is unsurprisingly more interested in peddling the vampire tale, which he is confidently believes is the true story, concluding, We have a fully documented account of an extremely unusual event, one officially identified as a case of vampirism. I personally believe in the authenticity of that report, although science isn't on the side of the locals in Kiselevo. They are allowing themselves to believe their quiet village played its part in vampire history and want this to be known by anybody who will listen. So interesting little story there, that's for sure. All right, I had teased earlier that the Knights Templar might have hid Jesus's bones in North America. There's a little story about that this week. The leader of an ancient order founded in the 12th century maintains that Jesus's bones are in the American Northwest. Speaking recently in an interview on the Danny Jones podcast, Timothy Hogan, who's been on this show, heads up an order that was established centuries ago to protect Christians in the Holy Land, and has claimed that the bones of Jesus himself were removed from Jerusalem by the Knights Templar. He explained that the bones had been kept at the Talpiot tomb in East Jerusalem during the Middle Ages and were later moved to two secretive vaults somewhere in North America. They were allegedly among the many holy relics moved by the Knights Templar to the New World to conceal their whereabouts from the Vatican. This isn't something we're trying to hide, said Hogan. We've just been trying to protect it. When the tomb was originally discovered, with ossuaries labeled with the names Jesus, Mary Magdalene, and John the Baptist, it was understood that if the remains were turned over to the Vatican, they would vanish. The church would have buried the story because it contradicts their doctrine. Understandably, Hogan's comments have been met with a considerable degree of skepticism, with critics citing the complete lack of evidence, save for him simply claiming this to be true. Exactly where the alleged vaults are located, if they exist at all, remains unclear. If they actually do exist, however, it would certainly be interesting to see what ancient treasures, if any, are contained within their walls. Okay, I only find this interesting for one reason. He doesn't say when they were excavated over. I mean, I'd have to listen to the Danny Jones podcast. And you know what? I might ask Timothy Hogan to come on this podcast and explain. Okay. Because, as you know, my ancestor was the was the Grand Master of the Knights Templar for a short time, but at the time he was awarded the Gaza Strip for a short time. But he had lost his head in 1153, so that would have been 12th century. But I'm wondering. I don't know. Wheels are turning here, Mel. There's a certain amount of treasure. So my ancestor lost his head because he supposedly got greedy looking for treasure. And you see the air quotes, right?
Right.
I'm wondering if that treasure that he was looking for wasn't the ossuaries that Timothy Hogan's talking about. Because I was told at one point it was either an ark that he was looking for, or it was something else. I don't know. Timothy Hogan is full of a lot of knowledge. So, interesting. I think I need to have a talk with Timothy Hogan. That's for sure.
There you go.
Yeah. Let's move on. Peter Jackson is helping to resurrect a species of giant extinct bird. The legendary Lord of the Rings director has set his sights on resurrecting one of New Zealand's most iconic species. Not content with producing the upcoming live-action movie, The Lord of the Rings, The Hunt for Gollum, Peter Jackson has also been working on something that, if successful, could see the return of a creature that wouldn't look at all out of place in the forests of Middle-earth. Having partnered with Texas-based genetic engineering company Colossal Biosciences, Jackson is hoping to aid efforts to resurrect the MOA, no, not the Mall of America, the moa, an enormous extinct bird native to New Zealand's South Island that disappeared around 600 years ago. These birds were genuinely huge, standing up to 3.6 meters tall and weighing 230 kilograms. Right now, Colossal Biosciences is looking to acquire samples of MOA DNA for genomic analysis, something that Jackson has been able to help with thanks to his extensive collection of MOA bones. I've always loved the idea of de-extinction, he told IGN, particularly since the science can also have huge benefits with endangered species too. Fran and I have a collection of around 400 MOA bones, and we've already sampled them for DNA. I see my role over the next year or two as gathering as many more bones as I can. The more bones, the better the genome, he went on to say. Whether we will see the giant MOA roaming the wilds of New Zealand again within the next few years, however, remains to be seen. Interesting. You ever seen what a MOA looks like?
Mm-mm.
That's what a MOA looks like. Looks like
okay.
Looks like a giant ostrich.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. Bringing back a giant extinct bird, but I don't know. Peter Jackson seems to be into this resurrecting things that are dead thing. First, it was Beatles. I mean, like the musicians, and now it's bringing back birds. But if that's how he feels, I guess that's how he feels, right?
Mm-hmm.
Killer whales, another thing we talked about earlier in the program, keep offering food to humans and nobody knows why. Wild orcas have been documented on multiple occasions making food offerings to humans. Maybe we're their gods, Mallie. If so, they're making they're making a huge mistake.
Right.
It is not unusual for a domestic animal such as a cat to offer you a mouse or a bird that it has caught. Actually, on a side note, I think I've said this before on the show, Spuddy brings me seeds at the end of the season.
That's cute.
It's a thank you. I know it's a thank you for feeding her all year.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's all it is. It's just a thank you. I mean, she's not offering me a sacrifice.
Right.
Or anything like that. She doesn't look at me as a god. There's no reason to think of it that way. I think it's just this is to help you get through the winter. It's just a thank you, Thanks for all the food. I don't think we need to look at it as anything like that, anything other than that. But the article says, but this is perhaps the last thing you'd expect a wild killer whale to be doing. No, you know what? I would expect that. Is that unusual? Do you find that unusual? That a killer whale? I mean, if we're being kind to a killer whale or someone's being kind to a killer whale, that the killer whale would be kind back?
I think it's very sweet.
Yeah.
I mean,
if it's somewhat, I don't want to say tame because that's not the word, but if someone is giving things to the whale will give back. Mm-hmm. That's not unusual. And I'm not being woo-woo or frou-frou about it. I mean...
No, but I mean, it's been seen before with nature.
Yeah, it happens. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Nonetheless, researchers have documented over 30 cases of killer whales offering fish, rays, or squid to humans who are either on boats, standing on the shore, or swimming in the ocean. These incidents, which date back up to 20 years, have been collated by researchers from Canada, New Zealand, and Mexico in an effort to better understand this behavior. Remarkably, in some cases, the orcas attempted to present the food more than once after their intended recipient did not appear to accept the offering. Orcas often share food with each other. It's a pro-social activity and a way that they could build relationships with each other, said study lead author Jared Towers. That they also share with humans may show their interest in relating to us as well. Orcas are particularly social animals, so it makes sense that this type of behavior might be a part of an effort to build relationships both with each other and with humans. Offering items to humans could simultaneously include opportunities for killer whales to practice learned cultural behaviors, explore, or play, and in so doing, learn about, manipulate, or develop relationships with us. I think I see where they're going with this, and I'll give you an example here in a second. I'm just kind of contemplating here. Given the advanced cognitive abilities and social cooperative nature of this species, we assume that any or All of these explanations for and outcomes of such behavior are possible. So here's where I think they're going with this, okay? So I'll give you an example. You have like, say, a deep sea fisherman or a fisherman that fishes a particular area for 20, 30 years. Mm-hmm. And let's say he's got a bunch of chum that he throws off the side of his boat, okay? Mm-hmm. And he chums the water because he's looking for a particular kind of fish. And the killer whale eats a lot of this chum. Well, the whale doesn't know what the chum is for. He just knows that the fisherman's been feeding him. Well, the whale feels responsible. This guy's been feeding me. Well, I need to give something back. I've developed a relationship with this guy who's giving me food. Well, this guy's really nice. He's really nice to me. So I want to give him something back. He's been giving freely of me. I need to give back. That's all the whale knows, right? It's kind of like Spuddy and I with seeds. You know, I give Spuddy seeds and peanuts. Well, at the end of the season, Spuddy goes, well, I want to take care of this guy before I go into torpor. Because he's going to go into torpor too. Spuddy doesn't know anything other than chipmunk, right? Mm-hmm. Spuddy goes, well, that guy's going into torpor too. Spuddy doesn't know I stay awake all winter. You know,
right.
Spuddy doesn't realize I got to work all winter, right? I don't go into torpor. But Spuddy thinks I'm going into torpor. So Spuddy goes, you know what? You're going to need seeds too. So Spuddy leaves me seeds every winter. And she's done so for the last couple of seasons. So, and in fact, I saved I have a prescription bottle full of seeds that she left me the last time she went into torpor. And she did it the year before as well. And it's just, you know, and we put emotion to it and we say, oh, that's sweet. You know, that's loving. That's kind. That's, you know, but to her, I'm sure she looks at it as an exchange, right? You give to me, I give to you. You know, it's balance, you know, and I don't know, maybe there is emotion there. Maybe that is some sort of love, but I have no way of gauging it, right? Because Spud doesn't open up and talk to me. The minute she does, I'm going to run for the fucking hills, because the minute a chipmunk talks to me, I'm going to check myself into therapy. Just saying. Because then I know I've lost my fucking mind, Mallie. That's all I know. Because wouldn't you lose your mind if a chipmunk talked to you?
Yes, if an animal started talking to me, yes, I would.
Yeah, I pretty much am going to lose my mind too. All right. Our palate cleanser for today. And then we're out of here for today, Mallie.
Okie doke.
We're going to talk about the nonsensically narrow world's thinnest car, which was unveiled in Italy. Let me ask you this, Mal. Could you squeeze into that?
No.
No, I know I'm not fitting in this car. It is the world's thinnest car in Italy, and if it fits one person, it is probably the thinnest person you've ever met. The ridiculously thin Fiat Panda actually functions as a working car, despite being a mere 50 centimeters in width. I don't do conversions very well.
Yeah, I was trying to figure that out.
Let me see. What is 50 centimeters to inches? Do we have time to figure that out? Let me see. Let me pull up the old Google machine. If it will pull up, let's see, 50 centimeters equals how many inches? I'm still on the Marchioness. 50 centimeters equals how many inches? I know people at home are like 50 centimeters. There we go. 50 centimeters equals how many inches? 19 inches.
That's not a lot.
No. Actually, the average waist is what? The average waist is 36 to 45 inches, 48 inches?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. How do you get your waist in there?
You don't.
I don't think you do. It was built by 30-year-old Italian mechanic Andrea Marazzi. The insane vehicle was put together using parts from the original 1993 Fiat Panda and was recently demonstrated at the 45th anniversary of the Panda in Panadino, which is a small town in Italy in the southeast of Milan. The car is so thin that it's impossible to even fit inside unless you happen to be relatively slim. Relatively slim? Anorexic is more like it. Well, certainly helpful for fitting into tiny gaps. The car is a little on the unstable side, although it does at least take a bit more than just a stiff breeze to cause it to topple over. Many people think that it will tip over just by blowing on it. If they think that, they're wrong, says Marazzi. Amazingly, the tiny car has most of the features typical of any vehicle, including 4 wheels, 2 rear view mirrors, and 2 passenger doors on either side. It even has a black seat, albeit only one big enough for a small child to fit inside. The Narrow Panda invites viewers to relink proportions, functionality, and playfulness in mechanical design, said consumer electronics expert Gaurav Su. It's a rolling experiment, part engineering challenge, part tribute, and part public spectacle. I honestly think it looks like, I don't know. It does have 4 tires, but these tires are so tiny. Look at those tires.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like a kid's...
Like the width of a tyke car.
Yeah, it looks like a little Tykes car. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like one of those cars you'd buy your kid at Toys R Us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It doesn't look like a real car. And it's got one headlight. Just one singular headlight. But 2 turn signals.
Yeah.
So, yeah. All right. And another exercise of the absurd. And our final story today. Cockatoos in Australia have figured out how to use a drinking fountain. Do you really want a cockatoo drinking out of your drinking fountain? And I mean, actually flying up and using the drinking fountain. Not somebody, turning it on for them. Here's an actual picture, Mallie, of a cockatoo using your drinking fountain.
Oh, very cute.
The striking birds have come up with an ingenious way of operating the fountains using their claws in Sydney, Australia. Cockatoos in suburban Sydney, Australia have gained something of a reputation in recent years due to their penchant for breaking into trash cans to look for food. And now it seems they've actually picked up on the art of using a human drinking fountain to quench their thirst as well. Researchers are amazed. See, you don't need opposable thumbs. We're done as a society. We no longer rule the earth, Mallie. Cockatoos are now going to rule the earth. They break into our trash cans and get food. They're using our drinking fountains. Before you know it, they'll be ruling AI. We're done. Mm-hmm. It's cockatoos. It now seems they picked up the art of using a human drinking fountain to quench your thirst as well. Researchers were amazed when they discovered that several of the birds had figured out a way to operate the mechanism by using their claws and beaks and by positioning themselves in just the right position to drink the water as it shoots up. It's believed that this technique has become something of a tradition among the local birds, with more of them picking up the skill after watching others do it. So they just mimicked. One of the researchers who has been monitoring the birds is behavioral ecologist, not ecologist, but ecologist, Barbara Klump of the University of Vienna. She and her colleagues set up motion-activated cameras which recorded the cockatoos making 525 separate attempts to drink from the fountain. That said, around 41% of these attempts actually saw the bird satisfy its thirst as pulling off the maneuver, especially with other birds crowding around, often proved tricky. Even so, the fact that they could do it is quite remarkable. With that, next week's host is a cockatoo. So I will not be in next week. It will be a cockatoo hosting the show. Be operating the board. It'll be giving you the news. I'll be taking the week off.
There you go.
Yeah. With that, a reminder that tonight, Twin Cities, there's a screening of I Know What You Did Last Summer over at AMC Southdale. There's a link in the description of this program. There may still be a couple of tickets left. I'm not quite sure. Click on the link and find out. Come join me out at AMC Southdale and come see I Know What You Did Last Summer, a special screening hosted by Darkness Radio. Mallie, what you got? Anything?
Nope, just busy with summer stuff with the kids.
Right on. And formulating the master plan for the Rice Crunchberry bars.
Oh, yeah. Once summer's over, I'll start baking again.
Well, you don't have, right, in the fall. But, you know, you got to formulate the master plan. That might take a while. Yeah. Coming up on the program tomorrow, we have a special guest and a good friend coming to the program. Dacre Stoker is in with us tomorrow. We're going to be talking about how you can spend Halloween in Romania with Dacre Stoker and celebrate Halloween at Dracula's Castle. Kind of a cool deal, huh, Mel?
Mm-hmm. That's going to be fun for everybody.
That's right. And how you can do it with 10 easy payments. See how that works?
There you go.
So we're gonna discuss that tomorrow. We're going to talk about what it will be like for the great grandnephew of Bram Stoker to realize this whole creation and how it's going to come to fruition and come full circle. Kind of a surreal experience, I think, for Dacre to, spend Halloween in Dracula's Castle. So we'll talk about that tomorrow. That's here on the big program. So looking forward to it. Interesting program tomorrow. So
yeah,
we'll talk about that. Otherwise, one other note here. Also, we talked briefly yesterday about Mysterious Adventures Tours. Our friends over at Mysterious Adventures Tours also released a wait list, and we'll have a link to that as well in the description of this program for a supernatural cruise. It's Brian Cano, Grant Wilson, Dustin Perry, supernatural cruise to France, or in France. So it's the catacombs. Imagine this, stars, bars, and very little as far as a hotel stay. You're on the cruise, right? So if you don't like hotel hopping when you go overseas, literally you're just staying on the cruise. And so there you go, folks. A cruise to France or a cruise in France. It sounds wonderful to me. I don't know about you, Mel.
Mm-hmm. But, no, it sounds great.
Yeah, a river cruise in France and going to the catacombs and a whole bunch more. So there'll be a link to that wait list in the description of this program as well. Lots of good stuff. Lots of good stuff ahead. Mm-hmm. Lots of good programs ahead for the program as well here at Darkness Radio in the next few weeks. I know we have, coming up in the next few weeks, we'll be talking to our friends at Small Town Monsters. That's coming up. We're going to learn how to draw cryptids in the next few weeks. How's that sound? Pretty good?
It's different, yeah.
Yeah. Much, much more. So we got some good stuff coming up down the pike. We're going to end it there today. Yeah, go see a movie with us tomorrow, or today, rather. Today, later tonight. Much, much more. We got a lot of stuff going on. So that'll do it. And again, get your Parashares in, tim@darknessradio.com. And Dacre Stoker tomorrow, right here on the big program. Thank you for joining us. For Mallie Fox, I'm Tim Dennis. Thank you for listening and watching to the best in paranormal programming. This is Darkness Radio.